It's interesting, right? It's the same thing. Nervous system goes into everything. The nervous system controls everything. Chiropractors address the nervous system. Now, in one of our books, and by the way, chiropractors are taught to adjust the body many different ways. I think I've been taught like 10 different ways to adjust the body, full spine. Really cool. In one of my books I was reading recently, I opened up the page and it was a quote by Voltaire. It said, doctors give medications for things which they do not know, for elements which they do not understand, to people who they do not communicate with. It's good for business sometimes, I guess, but that was like the first thing open, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. And it talked about in the next page something called innate intelligence. And I want you to understand this completely. You have natural immunity built into your systems. Okay? Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There is such thing as natural immunity because we've learned about it in chiropractic school, in nursing school, they teach it in medical school. Okay? In chiropractic school, you don't label it that. You just call it innate intelligence, which means that you have this intelligence built inside of you that just recognizes how to adapt to stress. Because think about it. When you were back in the day, Native Americans knew how to take care of everything with just from the land. Right? Like, it's incredible. We're trying to go back to the shamanistic approach of going back to the land. And like, if we keep screwing it up, we're not going to have anything left. But go to the Amazon. If you go to the Amazon, there's like 200 million species of mushrooms down there that can treat almost kind of any ailment. And if you think about it, like the chiropractic in the rural area, you have to have so many different tools in your arsenal to reach into any time that someone comes in with an issue. Chiropractors are taught that. And actually, if you didn't know this too, chiropractors are primary care providers. So when I was going through chiropractic school, they literally said, you're going to be trained as a family practitioner. So when I went through my rotations, I learned blood work. I learned how to read MRIs and x-rays. I learned how to, what medications gave for which diagnosis. We went through rotations and rounds like boards, medical boards. All the stuff that I learned in nursing school, I already learned in chiropractic school. It was incredible. It was just reemphasis. So nursing boards were very easy for me, actually, because I had been trained all that through chiropractic school. And as a direct care provider, that means you can choose to go see a chiropractor instead of seeing the traditional family practitioner. And imagine, going back to the idea of a real doctor, what does a real doctor look like nowadays? A chiropractor can order your labs, can order your imaging, can talk to you about nutrition, diet, sleep, flexibility in your nervous system. Do allopathic physicians touch any of that in any visit? Probably not. And if you want to make one more thing to kind of like rest your hat on, I think less intervention is good. I really do believe it, because after a while, if you eat healthy, if you go get sunlight, if you get good water, if you get adjusted like as much as you can, I think really, you're just going to be a lot healthier. Honestly, the truth was I was kind of unsure about being a chiropractor after I got done. Because when I went to nursing school, I was in chiropractic school and people would be like, why did you become a chiropractor? I mean, in one of my classes, this is interesting. We had a lady who used to work for the National Vaccine Council. She came in, she gave this whole presentation on vaccines. Of course, all the room full of chiropractic students like, yeah, no. You're a nurse practitioner. You're just going to give those things, aren't you, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, if they need them, I don't know. I'm trying to learn too. Like, they're literally, why did you become a chiropractor? You're just going to give medicines. I said, no. Imagine if I knew about medicines, I could take away medicines that are unneeded. And that's really what it comes down to. Imagine a chiropractor could help blood pressure and heart disease and Alzheimer's. And it's never associated in traditional medication. It's never in traditional ways of healing. But guess what? Chiropractors are covered by insurance. Oh yeah, Medicare has covered chiropractors for years. There's no going back. There's no going back. And it's incredible. You are taught so much as a chiropractor. So when people just think, oh, you just treat neck pain, I'm just like, not really. And when people say, oh, who taught you all this stuff with all the IVs? I said, chiropractors did. I learned all this nutrition in chiropractic school. Nursing didn't teach a damn thing about this. Nursing didn't teach me how to prescribe opioids. Nursing didn't teach me about diet and nutrition. Nursing just said, you carry out orders for doctors. That's it. And I was like, well, these doctors are idiots. Yeah, but they're still a doctor. Okay, fair enough. I can go into more chiropractic stories or whatnot, but You have any questions, comments so far?
Well, about chiropractic in general, one of my college science classes touched on the topic of chiropractic briefly, and I remember they talked about there's like two main like I guess schools of thought with chiropractic, like straights and mixers. What's the difference?
Ha, you're awesome, man. You're so awesome. All right, so I am a mixer, which means I think more than just the adjustment is needed. Okay, so Parker, which is the school I went to, was a mixer college, which meant that I was taught labs and how to order them and imaging and all that. Straights don't believe any of that stuff. They just believe the adjustment and nothing else. They don't even want you to say you're treating anything. Like literally, they're like, I don't care about low back pain. You call it what you want. I call it subluxation nerve interference.
Yeah, because like the one thing I remember is that in the class, they kind of basically they taught that straights are the real ones and mixers are quacks.
All right, so if you look at the amount of territory pissing on his territory, kind of like guarding deal that you have in healthcare, is that everyone thinks they're better than everyone else. Yeah. That's really what it comes down to. I'm a better this than you. But if you talk about chiropractic as a whole, that separation of mixers and straights has been detrimental to the growth of chiropractic. I think chiropractic has been around since 1895. Okay, and it was one of the first like professions that was legalized in like the early 1900s, and because of that mentality, because there was like medication wasn't even like really a thing yet. Like medication in the pharmaceutical world wasn't really created until like 1919 or the 1910s. Like chiropractic was around before that. So, think about nutrition and all that stuff too. When chiropractic was developed, there was like this huge rift that said like, nah, you just need the adjustment and then God will do the work. That was really, there's a whole practice within that in chiropractic that's very purist. It is almost like a religion. And so some people look at that and they say, oh, that's why you crazy chiropractor. All you think is just adjustment. And that's everything you're going to need. I'm like, no, it's not. They incorporate the diet. They incorporate the sunlight and all that stuff. Just talk about the Mormons, right? I'm serious. Like they were all healthy. It was incredible. They were all super healthy. They didn't have diseases. They weren't crawling around with medications and all that. And they were straights. They never wanted to. But I was like, y'all are mixers though, because you eat food. But like there's chiropractors that we were taught physiotherapy. We were taught ultrasound. We were taught kinesiotaping. We were taught cold laser therapy, which is badass if you never tried that before. Cold laser therapy is badass. And so in chiropractic school, I had an internship that took me to treat Olympic athletes. So I was taught sports chiropractic, which is great for like tennis elbow and low back pain, all that stuff too. That has to be mixer. Like, I mean, I have a Graston tool back out there. That has been one of my key pieces of chiropractic for the last 12 years. And all it does is soft tissue because I can't really adjust the muscle. Right? And so then if they're like, well, no, the body's going to take it, I don't know. But that's my mentality. And then that new fit that down the road, that's just a TENS unit that you just apply to someone. I can, like Bruce Lee used to do, put the TENS unit here and go like that. Nervous system. Imagine I can't get to the adjustment if the muscles are too tight. I put a TENS on it, relax the muscle, boom, get the adjustment. Yeah, so I'm a mixer all the way. I don't give a shit.
Palmer method of mixer or
Straight. So Palmer, D.D. Palmer is the original founder of chiropractic in 1895, and then his son B.J. broke off and did the mixer thing. Side note: our cat's name is Dee Dee. So, yeah, but that was, he was a straight all the way. He hated the medical world too at this time. He was like, dude, a bunch because they were trying to run him out of business.
Of course.
That's what they did. They straight up said, you're bad for business. No one's going to be on medications. And that's why Rockefeller and all them tried to stomp out chiropractic. Go look up Wilks versus AMA or AMA versus chiropractic. Yeah. On a side note, this is how sleazy the medical association is. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Say what you want. AMA is sleazy. At one point, they deliberately tried to eliminate the profession of chiropractic. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And it ruled that the Supreme Court said, you're not the governors of healthcare. But do they need to go back to that same, do they need to go look at that again in today's age? Because I don't believe medicine is only allopathic. Medicine is whatever feeds your soul. I mean, soulful medicine could be, that you talk to your friend on the phone for an hour straight. And maybe that you put your hands on someone. I did this rotation in nurse practitioner school, which, like I said, it was a 180. People were like, "You're a chiropractor becoming a nurse? What the hell's wrong with you?" And so this one physician I rotated with, family doctor, traditional doctor, anytime there was a low back pain, he would have me do the exam. "Oh, you're a chiropractor. You know what to do." I did all these orthopedic exams, which in my school I was taught like 300 orthopedic exams. He's like, "Where'd you learn all that stuff?" I'm like, "Chiropractors know this shit." "Oh, okay." He goes, "You know what chiropractors probably get people better?" I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you put your hands on them."